What's up? It's your girl, LaShonda Dawn.
And I'm Miss Cat, your coach, accountability partner, and teacher.
And we are back at it. And today, we got something a little more serious for you today. I think it's something that we've all struggled with. If you're an entrepreneur or even an aspiring entrepreneur, I think that the big elephant in the room today is going to be mental health.
Okay.
It's real. I'm gonna say that first of all, it's real. Struggling with your business and just day-to-day life, it gets hectic. And just to say a little bit about myself, trying to stay focused and keep my head up during this journey has been a challenge for me. And that is a form of mental health. When you start feeling down, when you start feeling depressed, when business is not going the way that you want it to go, what do you do? Where do you go as an entrepreneur? Thankfully, I'm in business with someone who's very near and dear to me, and we kind of been on this journey together for a while. And then I was blessed to have my girl, Miss Cat, show up into my life, and she's helped me as well. It's been real. It's been an easier road, so to speak, to have someone by me during times where I felt, depressed or just like, wow, what's going on here? So, basically what I'm here to talk about today is just telling people that, stress, depression, and just, kind of going through the motions of entrepreneurship is real. To add to that, I just want other entrepreneurs to know that it is okay to say you need help. It is okay and perfectly normal to realize that, I don't feel good or I need to just talk to someone. I think it's okay to do that.
And for me, just to dive on in, I think that what people have to understand that through this entrepreneurial journey, that you will suffer loss, like stuff, you know what I mean? Like the reason why we did this show is because we recognize that everybody's going to show you the glitz, the glamour, the beauty, the rainbows and butterflies of entrepreneurship, but nobody shows you the other side of what this is really like. So with that being said, you are like, it's kind of like something that you cannot avoid or fight. You will have that moment where you're going to self-doubt, where you're going to feel some type of way, where you might lose a major deal or, like something's going to happen in entrepreneurship that's going to throw you off your dime, right? And so, I think that first things first is that people have to understand, like, this is not optional, like it's going to happen. And so today, I think what's important to really discuss is like, when that happens, what do you do? Like, what should you do? You get what I'm saying? And so I don't know, Sean, I know I have a story, but I think we share a very similar story in regards to, something that happened in our journey, through this journey. So I would say, hey, if you want to share some of that story, but then also let us know, like, what did it take for you to get back on your dime?
And it kind of piggybacks off of what we talked about on the last show when it comes to faith and religion and God and all that stuff. Like, that was my source. That was my resource. I want to just say that it, like you said, it's going to happen, but it's what you do that makes the difference.
Yeah.
Businesses struggle, things, like you say, get lost in the shuffle. I just deal with loss differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, loss of business, up and down, but it's a part of the journey. I realize it's a part of the journey. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that you want to cut out, because again, people get on TV and podcasts and everything, and they tell you about all this stuff that's good, when the truth of the matter is it's not always good. There's some bad times, there's some great times, there's some dark times, but it's still rewarding now. It's some rewards in it too. But just making sure that I do the work and keep my head up when I'm feeling that way. You know what I mean? When I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling stressed, when I'm feeling depressed about business, because it gets to that point. You know what I'm saying? It really does.
And I'm going to say, I'm going to keep it a buck, because I want people to really take something from this show, especially if you're aspiring and you're thinking about coming onto this side of the fence. Like, I want you to know what it's really like. And so for me, I'm going to tell one of my personal stories, because I can talk about it now without getting emotional, without, whatever. But I know for me, like I explained in a couple of episodes ago, that coaching, mentorship, guidance is something that I take in a high regard. I spend a lot of money doing different cohorts, going to different workshops, just to try to, hone in and make my business better, right? And so I went through this particular program, and it was wonderful. No shade to the program or whatever the case may be. But the person that was coaching me and mentoring me was telling me that I wasn't charging enough for my mentorship program for my mentees. Now, mind you, at the time, I was charging about $3,000 for my coaching program, and people were paying it just fine. Every single tax season, I would probably get about 20, 30 new, mentees. So if you do the math, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a nice chunk of change, but I was trying to take it to the next level. In business, you don't want to stay stagnant. Like, you want to scale up, right? Yeah. So she was just like, well, the things that you're offering and the offer that you have, like, you're undercharging, you're undervaluing yourself. You should really be charging $7,000, $8,000 for this particular program. And for me, I've paid $10,000, $11,000 for less. You get what I'm saying? Than I offer. So I thought, that was good coaching, right? However, what happened is that when I changed my offer, I didn't get the same amount of students that I was accustomed to receiving. So what did that do? That caused me to go into a loss in my business. When I'm accustomed to making a certain amount of money to start off, my season, I didn't get that. But what it also did, not just monetarily, but mentally, because I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Am I not a good coach anymore? Like, I'm accustomed to this many students and this, that, and the third. So it not just messed with me financially, but mentally. And then when my mental started messing up, right, then I got into a place where I couldn't even function to make more money. So then I'm going months and months and months without making money in my business. So you got to understand, when you're a coach or mentor, or you use your mind, if you don't have a product, when your mind is messed up,
that's a problem.
You cannot function and make money. Like, I need y'all to understand this. So I'm going months and months without making money, and the bills keep billing and the world keep whirling, right? So at the end of the day, I actually dug myself into a $200,000 hole because of one misstep in my business, right? So I say that to say, it seemed so minimal at the time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this, that, and the third. But that one misstep set me back almost 200,000. And in some regard, that could have took some people out. Like, that would have took some people out. And it almost took me out. Like, honestly, it put me in a really dark place. So I'm saying that, and I'm sharing that story in all transparency to say that it could happen. It happened to me. But I think, like what you said, you have to have some type of faith in something, okay? So I'm not imposing, my religion or my spirituality on nobody, but you have to believe and have faith in something other than yourself if you're going to make it through this this journey. So for my mental health in that situation, it was God himself that had to reveal himself to me and say, hey, Kat, like, I'm gonna get you through this. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, I do advocate. I know with most, being African American, a lot of times they don't vouch for, for therapy. But I do think that especially entrepreneurs, should be in therapy, because again, this ain't for the weak. Like, guys, you can't just go get an LLC and think you about to be popping. This is definitely not for the weak.
Yeah. I mean, and just to add to that, like, I feel like, the loss it can be very deep when you've given so much of yourself to something. It's like a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
When you lose something or when your business goes down, you just, it just creates a dark cloud over you. But I think for me, what helped me to get myself out of that dark place is a pivot. You know what I'm saying? A pivot within my business, whereby I like to do private events and just regular events for just baby showers, just like random parties or, weddings. But my business pivoted to business, corporate. You know what I mean? And I think that pivot helped me. It helped me to just say, okay, I look at this from a different light. You know what I mean? Let me just look at this from another angle and not just get sunk down in something that I couldn't do anything about. And I mean, I didn't share this when I opened up, but like when COVID hit, it sprung my business forward a lot. Mm-hmm. But then when COVID was over, I was one of the ones who took the hit on the back side of COVID versus the front side of COVID.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And during COVID, you got used to making so much money and doing all these things. But then when I got the aftermath of it, it was like, wow, you just really go from this
hero to zero.
This. You know what I'm saying? And it was a hit, but it, like you said, you have to believe in something higher than yourself. And I mean, it was nothing but my faith, and it was nothing but God that kept me and kept my team and kept me going. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kept me going.
And I will also say this. I will also say that being with other check writers, and I know that might sound a little biased. I'm sorry, guys, but y'all 9-to-5ers don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I would say that having, people like Sean, you know what I mean? And I'm talking personally, like when I was going through that situation in my life, to have people that actually understood, because to me, when you're a 9-to-5er and you have something to fall back on, you cannot speak the language. Like, you start speaking in gibberish to me. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm going through something of that intensity, I need people around me that actually understand and can give me some real solid advice, right? Yeah. So I'm saying that to say that in your circle, you need to be connected with other check writers or other people, especially that you aspire to be like, or whatever the case may be, or coaches, mentors, things of that nature. So that way, when you do hit those type of, bad patches or whatever within your business, you have somebody that genuinely understands, not somebody that's just like, oh girl, it's going to be okay. Like, you need people that genuinely understand, because it hits different. For sure.
It really does. And I mean, it's like, this is that story. A lot of people give you the glory. This is the story. Like, this, there's nobody that's been an entrepreneur or in business that can tell you that they didn't hit some patch or some point in their business or in this journey where they didn't feel like this or something didn't happen. And if it hasn't happened to you yet, I mean, no disrespect, but you really not a check writer. If that has not happened to you at this point, like, just prepare yourself for the win, because it is coming.
For sure.
It's coming.
And one thing that I can definitely attest to, that it's been greater later.
Yeah.
The comeback has been majorly real.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? You have to get through that fire. Like they say, diamonds are produced through fire, through pressure, right? So you're going to have to go through something to get to the other side.
Yeah.
But I think I just want people to understand, we're not trying to jinx you, but we're just basically trying to say, first of all, keeping it real, but also preparing you so that way you have your armor on, you're ready for when that time comes. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I definitely would suggest that you have some colleagues that are, comparable to who you are in business
and where you are in the journey.
So that way they can actually understand and not just pacifying you and trying to make you feel good. And also can help you with some viable solutions. You know what I'm saying? Because when I had to make the decision to shut my office down, you know what I mean? Like I had to go, I'm with my other colleagues and like, hey, what y'all think? This, that, and the third. But if you're around a whole bunch of people that can't even comprehend, the situation at hand,
it makes it worse.
It makes it worse. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or if there's no kind of advice or anything that they can do to offer you to help aid you, like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm just simply saying that you definitely want to make sure that you have, some friends, family, some people, not just friends and family, because I have, y'all know how I feel about that. I'm just saying at least some business constituents that actually can, relate and
give
help.
Some solutions.
Solutions
is the new
solution is the new currency, guys. Just so we're clear, solutions is definitely the new currency. So so just make sure that you have some people in place, to help you through, because I think what people forget about this journey of entrepreneurship is that failure is part of that equation.
Yeah.
Like failure is that's the only way that you're going to learn. That's the only way that you're going to grow. That's the only way that you're going to know what doesn't work and what does work with your business, right? You have to fail in order to take it to the next level.
And you know what? It's something just came in my mind. Like a lot of people discredit networking. If you go to networking events, you meet people who are like, a lot of times are on the same level as you. So if you're dealing with something at that time, it helps you to move forward. Because like, when you and I met, you were at a certain place in your business. Yep. I was at a certain place in my business, and we had relatable conversations, and it didn't feel like, oh, you have more than me or you doing better than me. It's like we were on an even playing field. You know what I'm saying? It was always about us thinking of ways. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like thinking of something one way, you thinking of it from another point, so it just made sense.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It helped me to make sense of some things. And I think that, having that in somebody is very important. And I mean, it doesn't always come from people that you've known for years and years.
Know what
I'm saying?
That part.
It could be somebody you just met 30, 60 days ago. You know
sure.
What I mean? So I also encourage people, just to kind of twist it a little bit, to go to networking events, because even though you may think it's not beneficial, like you didn't make a connection that got you some money right then and there, but look at us, how we met, and then from
exactly
after a certain point, then it's like you put me on money, I'm putting you on money, and we making it work. So you may not get money tomorrow, and I know a lot of us need money tomorrow, but I mean
or today,
or today, but it's don't discredit going out and meeting people, because you're not in this alone.
For sure.
You're not in this alone. There's people out there. And also we'll drop down in the comments, in the caption, some resources that will be beneficial to you if you just don't feel like what we're saying is helpful, because sometimes, like you said, you do need therapy. Sometimes it's not just another person. You really need professional help to get out of that. And it's more to it than just what we're saying. And if you are that person, like, we definitely want you to take advantage of any resources that may be available to you, so that it doesn't get serious, because this is an overwhelming lifestyle.
For sure.
It's an overwhelming lifestyle.
And I think the point that we're trying to make is we're not experts. We're not saying that
we're experts.
Let me say this. I'm not a mental health expert. Let's put it that way. So we're talking about,
we're entrepreneurs.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the topic of today is mental health. I'm not a mental health expert, so I'm not trying to tell you that if you do 1, 2, 3, you're going to be cured or what,
Yeah.
So let's keep that clear. But what I can say is, do this journey of 10 years. You know what I'm saying? I done been through some things, you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, if you are looking to take this journey, or if you're in this journey, we're just telling you that, hey, you're not alone, because this is what it takes, you know what I'm saying, to get to the other side of the check. And this is some things that you can do, because sometimes it is the little things. Sometimes we make it to be more convoluted and more, extra than what it have to be. Sometimes you just need to get with somebody that understands, where you are, and y'all just kick it around. I actually love to have, masterminds. We do that.
Yeah.
We do that almost once a month, at least once a quarter, where I bring my personal friends together and we just mastermind. And I'm telling you, we're in that room crying, this, that, and the third, because at the end of the day, it's just something special about being around people that actually get it and actually understand you. You get what I'm saying? And like she said, if you do need something a little bit more, it's nothing wrong. We're just trying to say that it's nothing wrong with therapy. No matter what they trying to play, this, that, and the third, like, get you some therapy.
If you need help, get it.
If you need help, get you some therapy. And definitely, like I said, it might not be my Lord and Savior, you know what I'm saying?
But whatever you believe
like,
in,
for real, you need to
make
find
sure you fall back on that.
Somebody that you can pray to, and just, seek some guidance and clarity from, if you're gonna be successful in this journey, for sure.
I think that was a good takeaway, because everybody smiling ain't happy and everybody frowning ain't sad. So, hey, just keep it moving. Just get the help you need. Do what's best for you.
Yes.
Do what's best for you, because mental health is a real thing when it comes to being an entrepreneur. So we just wanted to shed some light on that. So we can let you know that you're not out here alone. I've suffered from it. Miss Cat is giving you some things too. She suffered from it. So it's real, and it can weigh you down. Like, this is a heavy journey. It's a heavy journey. But when it's up, it's up.
Oh, baby, it's up. For sure.
When it's up, it's up.
It is. So, you just have to decide, are you ready to ride this wave? Because this
ready to ride a check, are you ready to cash a check?
For real. So, I think that about wraps it up for this episode of Both Sides of the Check. But I hope that was some good, stimulating conversation.
Yeah.
And if you guys have some topics or anything that y'all want to hear from us, definitely let us know. Drop it in the comments, comment on this video, because we're open, to all type of feedback. But we thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. And I'm Miss Cat, your coach, accountability partner, and teacher.
I'm LaShawna Dunn,
and we're both sides of the check.